Hey YouTubers, welcome back to Rosie's Reviews. Well, today's review is a request from our YouTube audience, which I'm going to start giving the YouTube audience a name, and I'm going to call those people who give me a shout out for a possible review as my review tubers. And so that's what I'm going to call you guys, my review tubers. Well, big shout out to Ashley for recommending that I review a recent concert I attended starring Harry Connick Jr. And so that's what this review is all about. Now, if you don't know who Harry Connick Jr. is, I want you to do a quick Google search, look up a YouTube video of his performance, and then come back and watch the rest of this video. You might know him as an American Idol judge, but people, that is like this much of who he is, so we are not even going to talk about American Idol. We're going to talk about Harry Connick Jr. and who he really, really is. He was in concert last weekend here in Louisville, Kentucky, at a venue called the Louisville Palace. Now, for those of y'all who are not from Louisville or have no idea what this venue is about, this is the coolest venue in town, actually. It was built back in 1928, and it was a Lowe's and United Artists Theater at the time, showing first-run movies. And then, after it quit showing first-run movies at some point in the 90s, they decided to remodel and renovate it and restore it back to its kind of original motif. And it reopened and was rededicated in 1994. It looks like a really old Hollywood type theater. Now, Harry Connick has played there before, and he mentioned that he thought it looks like Satan's basement. It is a little creepy because there's lots of ornate sculptures and weird lighting, but it's a really cool venue for concerts like that are a little more intimate. And it's also really good for movies. It's also really good for, they do movie series in the summer, but it's really good for Broadway shows too. I saw Les Mis there. It's really cool. So, Harry Connick Jr. was there, and he was amazing. So the concert started at 8 o'clock. And at 8 o'clock, literally 8 o'clock on the nose, Harry walked out on stage with no opening act. Now that tells you the caliber of an artist that he is, that he requires no opening act. So he came in, sat right down at the piano, and just started playing. And he comes with a full brass band. He has, he has a drummer and he has a bass player, but he also has a trombonist, a saxophonist, a trumpeter. He has a lot of an orchestra band behind him. And so he started off, and a lot of this concert itself was a really good combination between him playing the piano, which he is an exquisite pianist, and also a lot of solos featuring his band, as well as him singing. Now he's got a wonderful crooning voice. I mean, he is the modern day Frank Sinatra. But his talent goes way beyond that, and he showed that in his piano playing and just the way he performed that night. Some of the highlights from the concert. Well, I will say that one of the most interesting parts for me, because I'm a huge fan of When Harry Met Sally, is he talked a lot about how he got that gig. And Rob Reiner heard about him, called him, and said, hey, I want you to come out and I want you to do the score for this movie. And it was interesting the way it worked out. He went to LA to do the score, and he basically was told, sit down in this chair or sit down at this piano and start playing when you see the green line going across the screen, and when it stops, you stop. And when you see the red line going across the line, when there's dialogue going on, you play, and then when it stops, you stop. And it was really interesting to hear him play, and he sat down at the piano and he sort of reenacted some of the score of When Harry Met Sally, and then of course he pulled up the stool and sang It Had to Be You, which is the main song from that storyline. He talked a lot about his home in New Orleans and how he went to jazz concerts from the time he was a little kid, and people came and taught him. It came to his home and taught him how to play the piano. And you can tell he definitely has a talent, and his parents really fostered that. You could really tell. He's a really great family man, which I absolutely love. And, aside from the fact that he's really hot, the fact that he is such a family man is really great. There were two people in the audience. Actually, I guess there were three people in the audience that he kind of focused on. One is named Morgan, and she's a teenager that came, and she's like 17. And she's been coming to all of his concerts in wherever she's from in the general area. She'll go to all of his concerts ever since she's been 6. And so she had been to his concert in Nashville the night before and was there at our concert in Louisville. And she brought him a bag of Skittles, and she brings him a bag of Skittles every concert. And he confessed to being a huge junk food junkie. Now, you can't tell by looking at him, he's a junk food junkie, but he is. And so another little girl who I think she was like 7, maybe, from E-Town, her mom brought her and had brought him a dozen glazed donuts from Amazing Glazed Donuts in E-Town. And they were in the shape of a fleur-de-lis. Well, of course, he's from New Orleans, and they use the fleur-de-lis as a symbol, and Louisville does as well, so that was really cool. He started throwing the donuts out to the audience because he said, I can't eat all these donuts myself, and so kind of got a little interactive there. And then the last person he focused on in the audience, which was really sweet, was someone who brought a poster of him from back in the 90s. And it was a black and white, and he looked really much younger than he does now. Still looked good, of course. And he signed the poster for them. He said, would you like me to sign it? And the cool story behind it is, he married his wife, Jill Goodacre, who was formerly a Victoria's Secret model. And she actually took that picture when they were dating. She was into photography. And so he said, she took this picture. So signing it really brought him back sweet memories. He's got 3 daughters, and, he's got to be the best dad with 3 girls because you could tell he adores his wife. And one of the sweet moments of the night is that he sang a song from his last album, Every Man Should Know, called One Fine Thing. And he said, every time I sing this song, I think of my wife. And he pulled up the stool and he just sang it, and it just was awesome. And I'm going to put a link in the description below of a blog post that I wrote, kind of talking a little bit about why I'm wild about Harry and why I love the concert. And in that blog post, I have embedded a video from YouTube of him performing that song, so you can enjoy it yourself fully. But it was a really great night. It was a really great song for him to honor his wife and just to show how much he's crazy about her. Every part of the concert, at some point, every member of his band got to be highlighted. And I think that's so cool. He would stand off to the side, and he would let them come forward and do their thing. And I just think that's so cool. He's probably the most non-pretentious performer I have ever seen. One of my favorite sets that featured the bass player, which is, I think his name was Jonathan DeBose, I believe. They did a really cool set, and as part of the set, they sang a couple of gospel tunes. One was Jesus is on the Main Line, which is an old gospel, jazz gospel tune. And after that, they sang How Great Thou Art. We went to church, people. We went to church. It was phenomenal. His trombonist was featured. His saxophonist was featured. And the saxophonist, he was really, really good. And so all of his band got opportunities, and he highlighted them, and I love that. And the coolest thing was at the end of the concert, of course, everybody has an encore, even Harry Connick Jr. And so after the curtain went down and we were giving him a standing ovation, he came back out and he performed Mardi Gras in New Orleans, which is kind of his signature piece that he always ends a concert with. I saw him the last time about 8 or 9 years ago at the Louisville Palace, and he closed the very same way. And it highlights everybody in the band. It focuses on his hometown, and it's just a really great way to close out the night. It was a great, great concert, and I will tell you that there's only about 2 more concerts left. There's a couple in March, but there's about 3 this summer. But we were toward the end of his tour, so you might not be able to catch him anytime soon. But if you ever get a chance to catch him in concert, it is worth every penny you pay for that ticket. He is an awesome performer. And I'll tell you what else I really like about him. Aside from the fact that I thought he was very non-pretentious, is that not once in the night did he ever mention American Idol, Keith Urban, J-Lo, nothing. Because you know what? He doesn't need that. Like, that to him is just another gig. He doesn't need to to pump the fact that, oh yeah, I'm an American Idol. And I love that. He's so common man. When you walk into his concert, you feel like you walked into his home and you sat down in his living room for a jam session. And it's really a cool experience. So that's my review for Harry Connick Jr. So check him out. If you're not familiar with his music outside of what you know about him on American Idol, you are missing out, people, missing out. So be sure to check out his music. I have his Christmas CD that I absolutely love, and I realize it's not the Christmas season, but put it on your list for next year. You'll want to have it to listen to. But he's really, really he's a classic artist that will stand the test of time like Frank Sinatra. Well, that's all for today, review tubers. So thanks again to Ashley for the shout out, for giving me an idea on something that you would like to have reviewed. And I hope this review was helpful to you and interesting for those who really do like Harry Connick Jr. So in my description box below, be sure to like and subscribe to this video channel so you can make sure to not miss it one video. Give this video a like so it can spread around the goodness across the internet. And I'll put a link in the description below to my blog post so you can see the video of Harry Connick Jr. doing One Fine Thing. It's a music video for that song, so you can kind of experience it yourself. And then be sure to leave in the comment section below, what would you like me to review? Clearly, I could review that concert pretty easily. I'm happy to review anything that you guys would like. Products, food, restaurants, movies, whatever it might be. Put it in the comment section below. Give me some ideas on reviews. All right, have a great day, YouTubers, and we'll talk to you soon.